All right. Good day, beloved. Well, I was doing a little bit of thinking after I left this job that I was just on, and I think we're in some pretty big trouble. We've lost we've lost the sight of what's important as far as business goes by a long shot. So I went out, had a simple job to do earlier today, helped straighten up a tree that was literally just hanging over on a 45-degree angle. Get it up where it needs to, tighten it in place, make sure it's not going to fall back down. It's an elderly lady. I mean, we're not super elderly, but 50s, 60s, somewhere around there. Single, lives on her own. Sweet lady. I went out there, helped her this morning, and then as I was talking to her after I left there and we were dealing with billing and everything, I got I had her on the phone, and she was telling me about this other company that was coming out to take a look at her AC unit. And she was just they were getting there as I was getting off the phone with her, and she was asking me how much I knew about it and, asking me questions. And I'm like, look, air conditioning is not my area of expertise by any stretch of the imagination, but if you don't feel comfortable with this other company, feel free to give me a call. We'll figure something out. Well, about 2 hours later, she calls me back, and this other company has literally gone through a sales pitch of how she needs to replace her water heater, how all of this stuff around her house is falling apart, and because she's got, higher pressure, her pressure regulator valve has failed, so they told her that her pipes could burst. I'm sorry, man. I get so irritated, and I'm in business for myself because I've worked for way too many people that are out there taking advantage of people's lack of knowledge. This poor lady, now granted, if she had a husband in the house or whatever, then he could deal with it. Maybe he would know more about it. She doesn't know about this. This isn't something she's dealt with, and these people know that. I mean, from what she was describing, this kid that she hired to come out there and that came out, sorry, there was a horsefly landed on my hand. This kid's young. He's super young. He probably just came out of tech school. This is the way that these national companies are training these people how to run things, because it puts more money in their pocket by running these sales pitches. She said they were out there looking around. First there was one guy, and then all of a sudden another guy showed up out of nowhere and started checking everything throughout the house, and then they sit down and do a sales pitch. I worked for one of these companies. I know how they train their guys. I know what they want them to do, and I know very well why they want them to do things the way they do. I worked for that company, and depending on what technician you rolled around with was what kind of work you were going to be doing. I rolled around with technicians that did good technician work. If one little part needed to be replaced, they replaced that one little part and got the life out of the water heater. If the water heater didn't need to be replaced all the way around, they didn't push for it to be replaced. They replaced that one part. Then you roll around with other people, and there was a leak on the top of a water heater that literally had nothing to do with the tank. But he talked that poor person into replacing that tank just because it wasn't working at the time. And actually, it was functioning fine. It just had a leak at the top that could have easily been fixed quickly. The only people that are making money working for companies like that are the disingenuous ones that I don't know how they sleep at night. I have started my business. I have ran my business based on the notion that I got sick of working for people that took advantage of other people. I'm still feeding my family. I don't need to go out and charge ridiculous amounts of money in order to survive. But greed has taken over our world, and it's gotten to the point where I tell my customers, if you have a bad feeling in your gut, call me. Either I will figure out how to help you with it, or I will get you in touch with somebody who I know is trustworthy because I've worked with them and I know what their work ethic is. I'm getting real sick of watching my customers get taken advantage of simply because they're either elderly or they don't have enough of their own knowledge to know that these guys are jerking them around. I literally just solved this problem for this lady. I did both my morning job, which was completely separate, and came back and solved the problem on her air conditioning unit for less than the company was going to charge her to replace one thing on the air conditioning unit. This world is ran by greed. I am going to be a stick in the mud until the day they put me in the mud. Please. I don't want to be the only one out here standing up for people that need somebody to take care of them. If you go into the service industry, you need to have a heart of service. You will make enough money to survive if you're doing what you need to do and you're standing up for the people that the Lord needs stood up for. I'm getting real sick of watching all these companies just take advantage of people. It's getting real. I'm sick of it. I'm not perfect. I tell every single one of my customers that. I also tell every single one of my customers that they can trust that if I'm not feeling confident that I can do the job correctly, we'll get them in touch with a professional that can, obviously. But guess what? I've done electrical work. I was trained on that from an electrical company. Less so than the plumbing. I was trained plumbing, new construction and service plumbing from 2 companies that have very reputable workers on there. I was trained in the field. I don't have to go to your tech college to learn what you need to learn. You learn better on the field anyway. I got paid to go through tech school. I can fix some plumbing stuff just because I paid attention and have a heart of service and want to do a good job. I'm not saying my poop doesn't stink. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But I'm saying we live in a world that is falling further and further from the world that the Lord meant us to live in. And integrity and greed are the 2 reasons that it's happening. It's falling to greed and integrity is disappearing. And we need to change that. So if I can make an appeal, if there's any young guys that are going out into the trades right now, please listen to me. The way that these companies are training you how to do this job is not the way that it needs to be done. They're greedy. These salespeople and these marketing departments are making everything a lot more difficult than it needs to be. And they're consolidating everything into these big national conglomerations that are not good for our local communities. And they don't care about our local communities. These people are just a number to this big corporation. Why do they care about doing a good job? Excuse me. Why do they care about doing a good job? They'll just get dispatched out to the next house. You know, when you guys have to go out there and put your own money into your tools, put your own money into your work vehicle, when something goes wrong, you come out of your own pocket to fix that problem. I'll start listening to what these people want to say. But all these people want to sit in an office in the sales position and act like they're the bee's knees. You have never put that risk out there on yourself. Go start your own company. Go have to take care of these people and treat them right so that they'll call you back. Because guess what? These companies don't care whether you call them back or not. They'll just take advantage of you. And they've got a marketing department that is getting so much traffic moving through Google and all these search engines, they don't care about you. Everybody recognizes about Walmart. Once the thing gets big enough, they don't care about local people. That is true with our service industry. Or if it isn't right now, it is going to be within the next 5 years. We need to support local service departments. We need to support local service businesses because people that live locally have a vested interest into taking care of the community that they're a part of. And if our communities had more business owners in them, your community would be filled with more people that have a vested interest in making sure that that community continues to thrive. Our communities are not thriving. Sorry. Everybody recognizes this country's not going in the direction that's working for everybody. You can point your finger at what specifically that is. I'm going to take the chance to point specifically at the fact that integrity is disappearing. People don't put a value on what is actually, like they'll show up and tell you that you have to charge you almost $500 to replace something that I literally picked up and had replaced, and it was nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. The only reason that these companies are charging what they have to is because they have 30 people sitting in the office there that need to get paychecks. Guess what? Those people in the office don't make these jobs billable. They haven't touched their foot on a job site and made it billable. People in the office cost the company money. Guess what? These techs, they could do the paperwork. They could keep up on their own paperwork. They could make sure that their stuff is in order. And guess what? The company that I worked for, you had to keep it in order, because if you didn't, it came out of your pocket. These companies are smart enough now, they don't even have to put money into the inventory. They've got contracts with the supply house that the supply house loads their trucks. And then they just pay when they use the equipment off of the truck. Well, guess what? It's not the company that pays for the equipment when it comes off the truck. It's the tech that pays. The company no longer comes out of pocket for even the material that stocks their trucks. Yeah. There's no risk on the table for these people in the office. If things take a turn for the lower or for the worse, they'll just tank the company into the ground and walk out with all the bags of money and leave all the techs high and dry. They don't care. Those 30 people in the office have not brought one job billable since they started in that position. Now, if they were techs in the field before, yeah, they completed jobs. Complete jobs are how company pays its bills. If a company doesn't have jobs complete, they don't have jobs that are billable. If they don't have billable jobs, they don't pay bills, or they don't pay paychecks. Enough said. Nobody in the office is making these jobs billable. Yet they're the ones that are making the good money. I'm not saying people in the tech industry aren't making good, or in the service industry aren't making good money. Electricians, plumbers, they make good money. Yeah. There's no reason that the people in the office should be making anywhere close. The electrical company I worked for, everybody in the office, yeah, they may have worked in the field at some point. I doubt they could make it up the ladder without the ladder collapsing on them. That man hasn't even smelled a job site in years, and yet he walks around like he's God's gift to the industry. Okay, buddy boy. You've worked for somebody else and got the position that you're in because you have the last name you have. Yeah, go start your own business. Go make it so that if you fail, your family starves and you have no backbone or nothing as a safety net. Try that out for a couple of years. See how you fare. Maybe you'll have a different opinion about the people working for you. I'm getting sick of these companies that don't care about their employees. I'm getting sick of these companies that don't care about their customers. They only care about a number. And I know it's not just my industry. I've just about had enough of it because I've got customers that call me up and are telling me how thankful they are that they've found me. I am nothing special. I am just another dude out there trying to solve a problem for somebody else and feed my family. That's it. Why do I continually have customers that are telling me how thankful they are because they're getting jerked around elsewhere? That's not a great feeling. It's great for me. I have return customers. That doesn't hurt me in the slightest. But it's not good for our society. It's a lot like all these checks that they sent out during COVID. Yeah, it's good for me, but it's not good for society. We've went way too long looking at what's good for me, what's good for my bank account, what's good for my business, what's good for my yard, my house, my HOA, my car. What's good for the country? What's good for society? As far as I can tell, nothing that's coming from our government is any good. Not that I'm trying to get into a government thing. That's somebody else's battle to fight. Or at least a battle for me to fight on a different day. But that's not where I'm at right now. I'm out here trying to feed my family. And I'm getting sick of watching people getting taken advantage of. And a lot of times, it's elderly people or it's single ladies that literally just don't have enough knowledge to tell these people that they're talking out of their butts. We all know it. We all know that we're getting fed garbage. Not just in this industry, but you're getting fed garbage as to what your groceries cost at the grocery store. Is anybody going to hold Walmart's feet to the fire on all these things that are not weighing what they should, but you're paying for it anyway? We'll see. Everybody needs to go watch A Bug's Life. That's my favorite superhero movie. Flick is my superhero. I pray that you guys understood at least something of what I was trying to rant about. Leave comment. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm right. Let's have a discussion about it. I hope God's with you today, and I hope your family is blessed and prosperous. Thank you. Have a good day.